I'm Sudharsun. I'm a PMO analyst working with Venzo for the past 1.5 years. The topic which we are going to see today is the business intelligence. Intelligence is something which is an ability to learn or adapt or take decisions or make decisions with the known knowledge, right? So you guys have already heard about. Most of them are aware about the artificial intelligence, which is nothing but creating a parallel intelligence what humans have with the machines, to put in simple words, right? So what is business intelligence? How can this be achieved? Is that, to put in a layman terms, with the data what we have, right, with the latest technologies and tools which are smart enough than what we can do, what humans can do, these tools can interact, basically make us look things in a different perspective with all the data which we have in hand, right? So that is what we are going to see today. With all the data what we have with respect to a company, with respect to a team, and with respect to an organization, with all the data, how can we apply intelligence to it, and how can we take that into a next stage? So the agenda for today's call is been split into four things, right? The first, let's get started with the introduction to business intelligence. So we will have a little bit of introduction on how this business intelligence will work, and we'll try to answer all the WH questions like what, why, and so things like that. And so once we are quite clear with that picture, we will see how this business intelligence work, and we'll try to dig some facts and examples, and after which we'll try to deep dive into BI as like how, what are the methods, and what are the benefits of this business intelligence. And finally, the Gartner's Magic Quadrant. We'll try to get a picture of what Gartner is trying to say, and who's the Gartner, and all those stuff. So let's start. I'll move to the next slide. Please feel free to stop anytime, okay? So let's get start with the business intelligence. As I said earlier, what's business intelligence? We'll see what, where, and how in this slide. So what's business intelligence? It consists of the strategies and technologies used by the enterprise for the data analysis and management of a business information. Okay, now I'll ask you a question. So, except the freshers, we have experienced people on the call, right? Can anyone say how much efficiently you have worked so far? Like, for example, if you have been part of Venzo for 2 years or 3 years, can anyone say I'm 80% efficient or 90% efficient? Can you please give any number on how you have worked so far? Like any number you can put in. Has anyone measured their efficiency or the productivity or the quality by themselves? And the third one is tools to analyze the data. So there are multiple tools. For example, Easy BI, Tableau. These are some different BI tools to analyze our data, right? So from what I speak, you might think that this business intelligence applies on only company level. They measure the performance. Only the TLs and the managers use these type of tools, but it is not so. Statistics say that even though most of the people from a company level, CEOs and CFOs use BI tools, it is also applied on the organizational level with respect to the VPs and senior managers and other people. Not just that, TLs can use it to measure the performance of the teams. Also, for the individuals to measure where they stand, what goals they can keep, and how they can have a track on them. Moving to the next slide, who is using the BI? As I told earlier, it's not just restricted with the company alone, right? It's increasingly important for business as well as individuals to have a clear view of all their ID, for all the data to stay competitive, right? If we don't know what we are doing, and what goals we have achieved so far, and what areas we lack, and what we need to improve on, we will not be able to grow, right? So it applies for all the sectors. So let's start with the company level. From the company level, these BI tools can be used for presenting presentations to the customers, interact with the data, attract investors, and showcase their achievements. To project the overall company's performance, these BI can be used, right? And from organization perspective, comparing different verticals and their performance, and how each verticals are interrelated. So, for example, there is a vertical for all the developers, and there is a vertical for all the testers. These BI tools can actually map and bridge the gap between the developers and testers. What is the thing which is actually lacking now, and what can be fixed. Apart from the organization, it's also used for the team leads and managers to measure the performance of the team, their weakness and strength, and also by the individuals. So this is the part which I would like to take you through on the call. So I would recommend guys to start using BI tools if possible to track their data. Like individuals can use the report for measuring where they stand against the goals and work on the improvements. So whenever you open a system on the morning, when you sit for the day for the work, many people might not have an organized structure on what they need to do on this particular day, and what they have done so far, right? So these BI tools can help you organize your work. This will tell you how much amount of work you have completed so far, what is your target, where you stand, and how can you improve on. So this is the overall picture on who is using it. So different methods on this business intelligence. Much more than specifying this business intelligence is a thing. It is an umbrella term that covers the process and methods of collecting, storing, and analyzing data from business operations or activities to optimize the performance. So this is what we have been talking about so far. There are different methods to do this BI, to improve this business intelligence. The first one is the data mining, where using the data basis statistics, the artificial intelligence to cover the large trends in the data sets. The next one is the reporting, where these data can be shared across different stakeholders, and they can draw conclusions and make decisions based on the reporting. So the next one is the performance metrics and benchmarking. So you can compare the current performance data to a historic data and track the performance against the goals. And the other one is the statistical analysis, where you can just play with the numbers, taking the results from a descriptive analysis, having a paragraph representation to a more numerical and fact-based decisions. And the next one is data visualization, where you can you can represent this data into a graphs and more visual representations, turning this numbers into more graphical and pictorial representations. And the next one is the data presentation, compelling multiple data sources, identifying the dimensions and measurements, and preparing it for data analysis. So basically, with all the data and the information, you can use these methods to work with the BI. So now let's try to compare traditional versus modern business intelligence. So how it was previously. So there will be a separate team of IT departments and other people who will collect all the raw data manually from resources, and they will be cleansing it manually and storing it in the warehouse. And we are restricted to use the data. There is no room for innovation and findings. The data will be more secure, and nobody will be able to process it as soon whenever it's required. There will be a lot of levels of approvals which you need to access the data, and also it would be more time consuming. There is a lot of long procedures and techniques to use the data. And how it is now is the modern BI. They have simplified the process. All this data will be stored in a centralized cloud, or a centralized database, where you can simply use this data to impress your audience and add unique style to it, right? You can also play with the data. It's free for the professionals to explore the saved data, and you can arrive on your own insights. As compared to traditional BI, this is more efficient because you can handle any ad hoc request. So whenever if someone comes to you and asks you any question on what work you have done so far, and any questions with related to your work, you can easily get the data from the tool, and you can able to present it. And this is just a small example which I would like to show. The data over here might not be accurate because this is taken long back. This is to compare how the business intelligence would work before and now. Okay, so the one which you see it on the left side is a manually made graph. right? This just a GDP of a company, sorry, country with a global contribution. That is, so for example, here US contributes to 25.3% of the global GDP, right? So here you can able to see only the static parts of every on the world. Like this is a manually created data, right? You can there is no if you want to, for example, if you want to see the data, the GDP of contribution of Africa with respect to the world, you will not be able to see it because these things are being added manually. And if someone needs to see this data, they need to put a line over here and then see through Google or some other data to to get the to get the numbers and put it over here, right? But let's see on the right side now. So this is just the same world map. And if I click and drag it over here, okay, it shows how much GDP on the area which I selected, right? And there is a graph which is populating on the right side, which shows how much percentage of contribution it is. So this is just a click and the data populates, and it's easy for us to present, gives us a better picture, and along with the graphs and other numbers. So it is there is a clear difference between the left side and the right side, right? So whenever we feed a data in, this is how the results pops up. Since I have a lot of confidential data, I will not be able to share with it. So I took this GDP of the country as an example. So this is just a small example for the presentation, but this is how you can also play with your data and have these kind of presentations to the managers or for the leaderships or even to the clients. So any questions so far? With this example, we will move on to the next slide. So business intelligence platform, these are the ones which I have personally used and I would recommend for you guys. So the Easy BI, it's a very easy to use drag and drop interface for the users. You can create different types of chart, dashboards, and which suits you, right? So the dashboard, you can create it and just place it on your desktop. So whenever you try to log in the system, you can have a track of your work. And the Tableau is an excellent tool for presentations. So any business decisions or anything which requires more kind of a pictorial representation, you can use Tableau tool. And Microsoft Power BI, hope you guys are aware of this name, right? So it is also designed to be easily accessible for those without any specialized data knowledge. So the next one is the Oracle BI, which I have not used much, but I've heard it from my friends and people who they have used it all for the Oracle BI. It provides the centralized data access and calculation. So especially for creating large data through which anyone can consume any information in any form. So if you guys find some time, feel free to use any of these BI platforms. I think I can move to the next slide, which is key features of BI. So these things are mostly known. It's very interactive. So you might have seen the previous example. So you can take all the insights from it. You can play with the data, and BI represents the real-time data. Arguably, one of the most useful tools in BI are dashboards, which allow complex data to be aggregated and view all in one place. And the customizable interface. So whenever something is changing, you can able to easily edit the dashboards and kick out the data what you don't need, and you can add in the data what you actually want. And there are standard templates which are already available on these platforms. If you need it, you can use the standard templates. Else you can go for creating your own templates as you wish. And the sharing ability, it's not like traditional analytics. It's very easy. You can just share the link with other people or even through WhatsApp. I'm just kidding. These are secure data, should not be shared through WhatsApp, but there is an availability of just sharing it, the dashboards through all the available platforms today. So edges and drawbacks, the reports are very accurate And since these are all governed and calculated by the tools, reports are very accurate and you can trust these tools. It is applicable for wide range of data, and the process is very streamlined. It's a three-step process. You put in the data, uh, you apply filters and queries, you get the result and feedback from the tools. And this is the edge and the drawbacks. There is an initial cost for setting up this business intelligence tools. Anything which is good is not free, right? So these BI tools are really good, but you need an initial cost to set up. And there is a data skill gap which we can see. Only few people are aware and effectively use this BI tools. So the entire presentation I planned was to educate about this BI tools, and you guys can start using it. So from this, we wrap up this business intelligence and move to some topic which is quite interesting, and I feel I would like to share it in the call. So it's called as a Gartner's Magic Quadrant. So I'll tell you, Gartner is a company which measures the performance of other companies based on two parameters. One is their ability to execute and their vision. Okay, the ability to execute and their vision. So you see this graph on which the x-axis, the bottom axis is the vision, okay, and the y-axis the ability to execute. So what basically Gartner company does is they classify different companies based on the market, and based on these two parameters, how their vision are and how they are able to their ability to execute, based on which they classify the companies into four groups. The first one is the leaders. So who are the leaders? They have high ability to execute, they have their own machines, they have their own data centers, they have all the physical things, the ability to execute, and a long vision. For example, what we are going to do this year, what where we have to stand on the next 5 years, and so on. So the companies which have a long vision and the ability to execute will be placed on the leaders. Okay, and for the challengers, there is a challenge, right, in place where they are highly able to execute their they are hardworking. Basically, they are able to execute, but there is no long vision for the company. They plan only the short goals, short terms, and they just execute it. So they are challengers. So these challenges can be moved to the leaders if their visions are being more, if their visions are expanded, right? If they can deeply think through the upcoming years and have a strategy for it, the challenges can be moved to the leaders. Okay. And the next one is the visionaries, are the companies which do not have the ability to execute. They have a long vision to do it, but they do not have a physical infrastructure or manpower or the ability to execute, which is quite low. Which doesn't mean it's bad. They have to just expanding their infrastructure, their manpower, and the knowledge. Okay, so that they can always become a leaders in the market. So the last one is the niche players, where niche is not represent something bad. They are very focused groups. They have less vision, they have less ability to execute, and they target on very specific things. They don't have a wide market, but they focus on very small groups, and they just restrict themselves. So the reason why I would like to show you this example is the Gartner is a company which is not something, they don't put this picture without any data, right? They might have worked on lot of things, lot of parameters to measure on in the background, and with it is not quite easy. I'm pretty sure this business intelligence tools work on the background, even from a high level to the individual level, on playing with the data, and to bridge the gap, and make us all the people grow to a leader's position. I think that's it from my end.